knowing who our community is then puts us in an awesome position to work out what we do next. Now it's time for a plan, but you can feel like you've got so much information. It's like that, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time, right? So
True.
You've got all the information. How do you make it meaningful, and how do you work out how to use it most effectively?
So some of that information might feel overwhelming. You may have too much information. So to be able to put that into priorities, areas of most influence, dissect and understand what's going to have most impactful results for your community, all of those things have to be factored in. Another area would be who's the stakeholders, who's the key contacts or people that you need to be aware of, connected with, talking to. Is it the clinicians who could be champions? Is it other fellow similar support groups who may have already got partway through their journey, may be able to help you? Is it politicians? Do you need a plan that includes some kind of advocacy and strategy to influence the leaders of your country? And how do you do that? And all of that would be about getting the evidence and the real world data to help drive that forward.
Because there's no doubt at all, and it's evidenced in every country around the world, no one of those stakeholder groups can do this by themselves. Change requires a collaborative effort, doesn't it? So
definitely.
So having that plan of who is part of this journey and how they are going to influence, what do they bring? How can they influence where we're going, is going to be such an important thing to write down, to work through. They know their job, you know your job, and then you work together to get it done. Yeah, relationships are really important. Julie's going to talk some more about how to build those relationships and the work that SMA Australia did to do that.
Wonderful. Another area that I know from my own experience is actually having such a large group of people who you need to develop a relationship with and have influence upon. Which do you spend your time on first? You know, who's the most important out of that group? And making a stakeholder plan and deciding which quadrant or which section each group is in. So are they in an area where you need immediate contact and they're very important, or are they less important and you can speak with them later, maybe further through your journey? I think that really can help just to navigate all of the time consuming aspects of being a small or maybe not as well resourced support group, where you have limited resources and limited time to put into those relationships or into those options.
Yeah, and working through which ones need to be the long-term, deeply trusting relationships consciously can help you work that through too. Yeah, I think that's critical.
Yeah, a very important aspect to manage both your well-being and time, but also to have the most impact and difference for your support group.
Yeah, so that's why you'll find on our website a stakeholder tool that helps you look at who are the stakeholders and how do you plan, where they fit. Are they high effort, low importance, or are they high importance, low effort? Unfortunately, there's not too many of those, but there's a tool there to help you work out where those stakeholders sit. And there's also a general planning tool. And one of the things that you'll find on the general planning tool is about key messages and what do you want to say. So once you figure out who, what do you want to say, and who do you want to tell which piece? So how do you go about doing that?
I think that's a very important area. So language is extremely powerful, as we all know, but being able to use the right language with the right person is going to make a difference. So having help and support around your social media or your key messages, making sure that everyone is saying the same thing within the community, and getting that out there effectively as a collective voice, amplifying that voice, sustaining that voice, being tenacious and being committed is all part of a successful picture or successful outcome around what it is that are your priorities and your areas of need. Some of which Julie will be speaking about her personal experience and the outcomes that she's achieved by doing just those things.
Yeah, and if you look at the Advocacy Beyond Borders website, you can clearly see what our key messages are. And when we first came together, one of the first things we did to help us have clarity around what our role was going to be was, what are those key messages that we want to continually be sharing with our community? So hand over heart, we can say, this is why we're here. This is what we are working towards. Totally transparent, totally clear, and the same message.
So the repeated message that comes from a place of thought, reflection, authenticity, that can be impactful with the right language to the right person or the right people, will lead to a successful outcome for your group. And that's something that Advocacy Beyond Borders are able to help you with either our free resources, or we could go into a deeper dive if you use our inquiry form and have a chat with us.